Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Nier Reincarnation, let's go back in time. Let's look at the launch pool for JP, which I hear is the same as the launch pool for SCA, or C, which just started the other day. Welcome to the game, by the way. And then let's talk about which character might be good to do the reset marathon for. What the reset marathon is that you install and then do some pulls, and if you don't get what you want quickly, then you uninstall and reinstall and do it over again. I heard that you can't do guest accounts, so it's not possible to do the reset marathon unless you make multiple Google accounts or whatever. I don't know. Somebody can clear that up in the comments, but if you are able to do the reset marathon, then maybe this chart here could be useful. And then for people in Global and JP, this could be a kind of a fun look back. And then I'll talk about all of these characters and then kind of talk about like where they stand now in the more advanced timeline of Global and JP. But first we got A2 there. She's in a league of her own, a tip-top attacker. She has had maybe the longest lifespan at the top of the game for this game. And even now, depending on how you use her, she could be really good. Good for PvP and PvE. Can't go wrong with starting with her. And then the next row, the top attackers, I think you could get any of these characters and then use them to beat most of the content in the game. And the reason why you want at least one of these characters is because you want to beat that content, it gets harder and harder, and then you want to save up gems. And then I guess here I can talk about how I would use gems if I were playing C today. Also, apparently, there is no pity system in the Hatcher, so there's no guarantee for what you are pulling. If it were me, I would maybe just try to get some good attackers and then leave them at level 70, and then wait for the pity system to be implemented, and then start spending the gems there. That's really going to slow down my progress at the beginning of the game, but in the long run, I think it'll be more an efficient way to use the gems. Because in the far, far future, we will get a thing called Costume Awakening, and then depending on how many times you pull a character, that's how many times you're going to be able to awaken them and get bonuses, bonus stats, bonus abilities. So yeah, at this point where JP and Global are now, getting the actual pulls, or exchanging at the ceiling for the pity, for the shard exchange, that's going to matter more then using the generic materials to level up the guys, which will come to C later. So yeah, if I were playing C now, I would save most of my gems until pity comes around. Might be a few months. But looking more closely at the top attackers, 2B, she's still a very viable PvE choice. And then just for kind of general farming, she's also pretty good. Next we have Leon. He might be the best staff attacker of the launch pool, but that's not saying very much where C is now, because there aren't any strong attacking staves. Much later there will be stronger staves, but yeah, he's going to get a slow start. But really nice staff that he comes with, which has the blind status on it. That can help you get clears of high difficulty PvE. Next we have Abstract Gale. She's kind of facing off to the right. She's very similar to 2B actually, kind of similar stats, same level attack, so she would be good for PvP, but she also has a very niche use case in another high difficulty content coming later, Subjugations, where she can buff the attack for your party. That's something that 2B does not have, so she has a little bit more longevity for that. And then finally we have the 2B version of Fio. She's also a very good attacker. I did the reset marathon and I started on her in my JP account, and yeah, she really helped me clear those early weeks of the game, keep clearing content, save up gems. As of now in Global and JP, the damage hasn't kept up, but then kind of Fio overall is not a super damaging attacker. So she's actually kind of one of the best Fios. But maybe now her best use is in Subjugations. She has a character skill with a lot of hits, which is important. Okay, and then we get to the other area. These are good characters, but these are not attackers that you might want to start a new account on and try to get lots of clears of stuff. But first we have 9S. He's kind of more of a support character. He'll get some buffs later. And then we have Abstract Argo. He's a decent attacker. He's the best spear attacker of this bunch here. And then later he will get buffs which make him actually a pretty good attacker, but that's far in the future. And then we have a couple characters, Demus and Akeha, who are really good for PvE. Demus, he has a blind character skill, and then Akeha, she has an attack break, which is very powerful against strong bosses. So yeah, really good characters, and I still use them today. But in the early days of the game, maybe they won't shine very much. Okay, then we have unreleased characters, which are coming soon. First is 063Y, the ball-headed guy. He is a total skip, I think. There is a future version of him coming. Maybe I'll talk about him later, which is maybe better. I actually love this version, Abstract 063Y, but this is far in the future after a particular buff, so people don't need to worry about him for now. His wife, however, F66X, this might be a place where people might want to spend gems to pull, even if there's no pity. This might be the one place where I pull before there is a pity. But she's the first healer of the game, both a character skill and then also a skill on her weapon. What I would do if I were playing C is that I would save my gems until her banner comes, and then when she comes I will pull until I got either her or her 3-star version. There's going to be a kind of a higher get rate, 3-star lower rarity version of her, and either one would be able to see me through high difficulty content, so that's a recommendation I can make strongly. Next is Abstract Lars. I think he's a total skip. Next is Abstract Griff. Very powerful. If you were to start the game a little bit later, and then he was in the starting pool, he would definitely be worth doing the reset marathon. He could beat lots of content for you. And then now, in JP and Global, after some buffs, he's really good for PvP too. Next we have Abstract Fio in the kind of the doll-looking costume. She's a total skip. And then finally we have Abstract Leon. I've always liked him. I think he was kind of similar to Abstract Akeha when he first came out. Kind of tanky, good for PvE, has an attack break. But much later in Global and JP, he will get some buffs to kind of make him good in every mode of the game, both PvE and PvP. I would not pull on him when he's first released, but if you do kind of pull him randomly somewhere, you can count yourself lucky. Okay, that was kind of a walk down memory lane, but that was a tier list of the launch available units. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.